Hello, everyone. We're here for another episode of our podcast. And since we're pretty much in spring, I wanted to share with you a recipe that I came up with a few years ago. And to me, it's really remembering of spring. And since we are in spring, we don't even have to remember it. So they are sort of cannelloni or manicotti, call them as you please. And they are stuffed with asparagus, ham, cheese, and then they are baked with bechamel and cheese. So the way I make them, I first cook the asparagus, then you get the cheese. I would go for a Swiss cheese or provolone, anyway, a cheese that actually melts but doesn't dissolve. And then, if you possibly can find it, use Italian ham, because Italian ham is so much different and it's so flavorful. Then you have two options. You can make your own dough, and I will put the link on in the description of both the written recipe and just the dough recipe. Or you can buy a very good quality dry lasagna sheets. If you use the lasagna sheets, make sure you blanch them until they are pliable. So it will need at least 2 to 3 minutes, a few sheets at a time, and then you shock them in ice water. Then you lay them on a clean tablecloth or kitchen cloth, whatever you have, and pat them dry, because you don't want too much water released into your final result. Then, if you want to make your own dough, I would still suggest that you blanch it quickly, like a minute, then ice bath, then the same thing. Lay them on a tablecloth and then pat them dry. After that, you have all of your ingredients ready, and you make, I make a sort of a bechamel, because technically the bechamel has the roux with butter and flour. I skip the roux part, so it's literally thickened milk with nutmeg and salt, and keep it warm. So that is one of the last things you want to make, because it will work much better if it's warm than if it's cold. At this point, you just layer the pasta sheets, ham, cheese, asparagus, and then you roll them. Make sure that you get the asparagus about the same length of the sheets that you're using and the cheese, so that they pretty much are the same length. And try not to roll too much. You don't want too much dough overlapping. Grease a baking dish. You put a little bit of bechamel on the bottom, and then you put all of your manicotti or cannelloni, call them as you please. Cover with enough bechamel, and then sprinkle with a mixture of Parmigiano and fine plain breadcrumbs in equal proportion. So the grated Parmigiano will melt and get golden. The breadcrumbs will add the crunchiness to the top of your baked result. Then you serve it, or you freeze it. You can freeze them. You can bake them a little shorter than what the recipe calls for. If you want to freeze them, because that way all you have to do is let them thaw in your fridge and put them back in the oven for however many minutes you will have left. Or you can freeze them in portions if there's just a few of you and you want to make a decent batch, but then you have leftovers for future lunches. Or if you have a microwave in the office or wherever you work, it actually can be a nice lunch for work. I will give you some suggestions on what you can replace it with. Some mozzarella, shredded mozzarella on top, together with the Parmigiano breadcrumb mixture, could be nice as well, because it gives the melty richness to it. It's entirely up to you. You can add some crumbled sauteed sausages with the bechamel. That there are an endless list of possibility to change this, but I really like making them before it gets too hot for the oven to be turned on. So as usual, remember, if you have any questions, just write them down and I will reply. Let me know if you tried them. Let me know if you have your own version. And please don't forget to comment in case you have a question.